Welcome, hunters. This is a new segment of
Bourbon
and Rum
Hunt.
Hunt. So today I'm here with Scott. I'm sure you've seen him on my channel before, but we're officially making it a new segment. As soon as we find bottles, as we all know, it's kind of hard to find very rare bottles, at least at our level now that we've talked about this before.
I would say so.
But we're going to share some bottles today. Specifically, I brought one that we discussed on one of my hunts. I was like, oh, look at this thing. I found this bottle, and it says bourbon and rum mash. So typically, I'm kind of like attracted to labels, and this one looked really colorful. And once I saw bourbon and rum mash, I sent Scott a picture, and I was like, oh my God, look at this. This is perfect for a segment.
We've got to do a segment on that one.
So new year, new segment. So definitely follow us along when we do our hunts, because you will see the bottles that we get there. So we're going to try this bad puppy out today. I'm honestly a little bit nervous.
Yeah. I'm very curious on that one. It's an interesting mashup. And I say that because what I brought in today are both ryes. So we're on the whiskey side over here that were aged in rum casks. And that one I've seen a lot where they do the aging. In the last segment that we did was a rum that was aged in a bourbon cask. But to actually mix the two, I'm curious.
Right?
I'm
okay.
very curious.
So, Scott, you do the honors.
Oh, the best sound in the world. Here we go.
Get that nice and close to the mic.
Oh. Didn't have the same pop I was looking for.
No, it didn't.
Got to let this puppy open up a little bit here.
Yeah.
That's a good sound, too, right there, though.
Yeah, that's another. The first one is the popping, and the second one.
That right there.
And crazy part that we were looking at the bottle is that this is extremely light. But, oh my gosh. Look at the legs. They're already forming some little beads.
Mm-hmm. So it could have a little more body than we were
Anticipating?
I would think so.
So the story behind this mashup, I guess we'll have to call it, is the owner, who's John Drew of Drew Estates. They actually make their own cigars. It was like two friends that were part of a fraternity, and they decided to make their own cigars. The other thing that was pretty cool is one of them actually moved to Nicaragua in the boom of like when Nicaragua started making their own cigars, and he moved there to learn how to make them.
Huh.
And now this guy, John Drew, what he calls this is the Brixton Mash Destroyer. So what he says is, what is this exactly? Is a collaboration between high-quality spirits. He claims that he picks the best Kentucky bourbons and the best dark Florida rum and mixes this up and then bottles it here in Florida. It's actually in Aberdale.
I don't even know where that is.
Me neither. But what's crazy is that he calls this a destroyer. So when I cheated today and I looked a little bit of the reviews, they were like, yeah, he definitely destroyed rum and bourbon. One of the guys said, I was like, oh gosh, I'm going to brace for impact today possibly.
So it's a normal proof. It's a 90 proof, 40%, 45% rather. Yeah, I'm a little curious on this one. So that just means, it's not an overproof rum or bourbon rather, when he does this mashup. So it could potentially be pretty smooth.
And he doesn't disclose the type of bourbon or the companies, as most blenders, they'll never disclose what it exactly is. Like the companies don't like their names out there. But it'll be interesting to see if maybe you can pick up with your palate the notes of like what type of Kentucky rum. And maybe we can figure out what kind of Florida rum is in this thing. So
yeah, you ready to give it a shot?
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. I know, that was a quick year.
That tastes like a whiskey.
To me, it tastes like a rum. It tastes more like a rum to me than it does a whiskey. There's not a lot on the nose.
No.
At all. It's very light as far as the nose goes. But
you can definitely smell like the cask in there, but
other than that, I get some of the sweetness that I find in rums more so than a bourbon.
Yeah, definitely the on the palate, it's a very sweet finish.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit of linger, not too much.
Not much. It's a very quick finish, but there is a little bit of a burn to it.
Yeah, but not bad.
No, not
Bad.
It's the hug, like we
Yes.
talked about the last time. A little more of a hug, but no, it's not bad. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Just based off of the color, I wasn't exactly sure what to expect, and without any disclosure from where anything is coming from. But there is a really nice sweetness to it.
Yeah.
It is. It's an enjoyable drink.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Mm-mm.
Not what I was expecting.
No.
I was actually thinking it would be a little bit sweeter, but
Now I'm starting to pick up a little bit more
of the whiskey.
of a whiskey flavor in there, but more of like whiskey, not bourbon.
Yeah. Whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure where in Kentucky he's sourcing this from.
Good.
Yeah,
I don't mind it.
No,
And this
No.
was like $40.
it's not bad. I mean, I'm not running out the door to go and grab it for
No.
a drink that I don't mind, but I am pleasantly surprised in trying it. It is a lot better than I was anticipating. Still not picking much up off of the nose though, which is fine. I mean, it's a pleasant drink.
Yeah, definitely getting a lot of the sweetness from the rum.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like it's blended perfectly. Like you can't really tell what rum
No,
or whiskey or bourbon is in there.
it's a very, very quick finish.
They're probably young bourbons and rums.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, I would say John Drew did not destroy it, as some people were saying.
I know.
I think he did all right with it.
Yeah. The Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
Brixton mash. So the other thing that I thought was really cool too is that they don't really make a lot of these blends. He says that he only puts out like limited editions and then he stops making them. So I was trying to see what else he had as far as the blends, and I couldn't find anything else besides this one.
Just this one. Well, could be the flagship right there. It's
But they're very
gets it
successful in the cigar side,
I know
which
Brixton.
you know what that leads to, right? We're gonna go have to get some cigars.
We are. Pour one of these, give a little dip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I would
And
agree.
see.
Yep.
And see how it compares. It's like stick to the spirit mixing or stick to the cigar
cigar.
making.
Well, you know what though? You get that good cigar in there, and it helps to open up the taste buds
Yeah,
on the tongue. And I bet you start picking up more complexities from the drink itself too. I bet you
possibly.
it probably is a pretty good pairing.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what he would recommend as a pairing.
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, I went to this mashdestroyer.com and the website wasn't even up. So, because I was trying to see if maybe he recommended something to mix this with, as most people do, or spirits companies do.
Yeah, that would definitely be an interesting mixology piece.
I don't know, I really enjoy a simple ginger ale
For rum
for this,
or for this?
I think.
I think that could work.
Because it's not bad tasting.
No, it's not. I mean, I can sit there easily and drink it neat. Like it's good.
Yeah.
It's fine.
You want to try some ice? A little
Sure.
bit?
Yeah.
So, Scott, what fun plans do you have this year? Or what cool
First one's
goals?
going to be see if I can get this cube in the glass.
Step number 1.
We'll just let it sit there for a minute. Fun plans now that we are in 2022. I want to finally start going on vacation again, like leaving the state. So we are actually taking a 7-day cruise.
Awesome.
We leave next month. And just
Where are you going?
Eastern Caribbean.
That's awesome.
They're doing great deals, so I encourage you to go out there and jump on a cruise because now's the time to do it.
We actually got lucky and managed to go to Spain during this whole thing.
Right, I remember
Because
that.
my brother lives there, but... So let's see this with a little bit of ice. Full rum.
Yeah. That's funny. It did. It brought the rum out. It really toned down the flavor a lot
Yeah.
on that one. This one, This one could benefit from being a little bit of a higher proof on the bourbon side, I think. And even on rums. I know rums, sometimes they do a little bit of an overproof rum.
Yeah.
That still tastes good. I mean, obviously,
yeah,
like you
of
have your
course.
151s out there and things
Yeah.
like that. But like a good overproof sipping rum would have benefited from just a little more strength, a little more pop to it, I think.
It's not bad, though.
No, it's not. It's certainly very smooth. You know, I could definitely see myself, you know, during the day, cigar in one hand, one of these, you know, in the other. I like the ginger ale idea. That's a good one. It's got to be a good quality ginger ale.
Yeah.
Though. Like a ginger beer. Like I want like a good gingery flavor.
Oh, that's a good idea, too.
Yeah.
That's
Again,
a good
just
idea, too.
Because that's got like that nice, really strong ginger flavor to it. And I think that would probably mesh well with this one. So what do you guys have coming up this year?
We'll see. Hoping to move out of South Florida. Head up more this way. By the way, we're at Live Music Community. Again, so excited to be back. This place is amazing. I absolutely love it. Their
awesome.
setup is great. Everybody here is amazing. But, yeah, move more.
Support local.
Yes, definitely support local. And they have some really cool classes if you're interested in learning to play some instruments. Paul was trying to convince me to take some drumming classes because it's always been my dream to do that. So hopefully, and maybe when I move up here, I can finally actually learn how to play the drums.
There you go. We got a kit right here
I
behind
know.
us.
But yeah, moving would be cool. Some traveling too. We've had to reschedule a couple things. But our big plan for this year is hopefully Japan.
Oh, wow. That's tremendous.
Yeah, our plan is to go to Japan in October.
Mm-hmm.
And like we were talking, like getting back into eating healthier, gym, all that good stuff.
Yes, I know. Now,
Health.
Yes, now that we're back into...
Not drinking during the week, hopefully.
into the new year, new me. That's the plan, so hopefully we can get that going. It's been a little tough so far, but the holidays, you know, just getting through those, the eating and the drinking. And
So I've tried Angel's Envy before.
The bourbon or the rye?
I think it was the bourbon.
Okay, which I love. They age the bourbon in a port cask, so it gets a little bit of extra sweetness from that. This is the rye. It's the finished
And it's
rye.
the rye, and it's, you said it was finished in the...
This one is finished in a Caribbean rum cask.
I'm excited for this one.
This one's good. We're gonna end with that one though. We're gonna we're gonna do the Doc Swinson first, just because
Scott is a pro. He's already done with his.
Yes, I am. Yeah, they kind of go down a little too easily sometimes. But yeah, so we're gonna start off with the Doc Swinson. This is also aged in a rum cask. They age it in the barrels. It's called a Solera process, which is a little different from what most places do. So the Solera process is you start off with a few casks, and those age, and then you bottle or you barrel some more, and then those start to age. Then you barrel some more, those start to age, so on and so forth. So what happens is when they go to the bottling process, they go to the oldest one first, and as that one empties out, they take from the second generation and the third generation, the fourth generation, and they basically, that's their blending process. So by the time it's all said and done, you have a bottle that is containing anywhere from an 8-year to a 2-year rye in it, and it's a hard process. Most distilleries are not doing it that way, but it's interesting. It takes on some very different, complex flavors to it. So, and then that plus once they rebarrel it and they put it in the rum cask, takes on a really fun flavor too.
I'm excited.
Yes.
So I put a little water in this to actually clean this up properly.
I'm gonna do the same.
Does it mention what type of cask they use? Because it's so funny. Bourbon and rum are so intertwined because typically rums are aged in bourbon barrels. And now we're doing like the opposite. So they aged this one. They aged the actual bourbon in the Solera system.
So the Solera system,
That's
right. So it
insane.
starts off that way.
I've never heard of bourbons doing that.
Yeah. So there's not a lot of companies out there that do it. Just a few at this point.
A lot of rums do it. Like
Yeah.
Actually, it's like if you think about it, it's what the rum industry considers a Spanish style of rum. So I'm excited.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Yeah, this one is fun. It is fun. But yeah, I mean, they start off in just the regular charred American oak cask. And then as far as the rum barrel goes, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. I do know that it's delicious.
Oh, shoot.
There it was.
That was a good pop.
Yes.
I've never asked you this, but how do you feel about? Have you seen these new corks that look like plastic? How do you feel about those?
You
There
know,
was already a side.
they're fine. There's something about like a legitimate cork. I don't know. It's aesthetically pleasing to me. Like
Yeah.
it looks good. It feels good. I like the presentation piece to it. It's a rubber cork is the other one that you're talking about.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have that same feel to it, but it holds very well. The upside to it is if you have a bottle. So I have a lot of bottles. Like I've probably had this one for about a year, maybe a little bit longer. After time, obviously not within 1 year, but let's just say I was holding on to this for a few years. The natural cork will eventually start to crumble.
Yeah, I have a couple of rums like that, and it's
Right.
like
And
I
you-
start
and you
pouring
end
the
up
rum,
with
and then you get
And you're finding
pieces
little
of
chunks of cork in there.
Yeah.
Exactly. The rubber cork that a lot of these companies are using now, you don't have to worry about that. The rubber is never going to disintegrate or anything. So
Yeah.
that synthetic piece, there is an upside to it, but again, there's just something about it. It looks so nice. It's just
Yeah.
a classic look to it.
This one smells like a bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
And you said this is a rye?
This is a rye. So so the mash bill is going to be different. So for a bourbon, you're looking at it has to be at minimum 51% corn,
Okay.
and then whatever the rest of the mash bill is. So on a rye, different complexities. It's going to be rye heavy. Most bourbons are it's always at least 51% corn, if not a little bit more. Rye, barley, and that's the mash bill of it. On the rye, it's going to go in the opposite direction. So I'm curious if this one actually has what the mash bill is on it. It does not, but this is certainly going to be rye heavy. And if you give that smell to it, you can really pick up the rye at the beginning of it.
It smells delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cheers. I'm so excited
Get in
for
there.
these. Wow, that's really sweet.
Mm-hmm. Off of the rye, you get a lot more of the spices,
Yeah, but
like a cinnamon, a bacon
yeah, you
spice,
still
an
you still
allspice.
get the back of the tongue, the rye experience, which I call it some of the rums that I've tried. It kind of like pop rocks,
Mm-hmm.
but this one it's a minimum, but it's very nice.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing this.
Of course, absolutely.
Yeah, this is very good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun flavor to it. It's
Because on the nose you're getting bourbon, and then it's complex.
It is.
On the palate.
Mm-hmm, very much so. And then when you throw in that little bit of that rum flavor coming in from the cask, it really opens up the complexities to it. But it is. It's fun. I mean, I am primarily a bourbon drinker. I do enjoy my ryes, here and there. And, you had picked up that amazing bottle for me.
Yeah.
The Willett Family Rye, which that's one of my absolute favorites. Yeah, there's something about a rye. It's just got a little bit more bite to it than a bourbon does. A little bit more because of the
But I
spices
love
that come
it.
through it.
I
So
love it. Now I've learned that that's something I really enjoy. I
Mhm.
was really nervous at first when people would say rye, rye, rye. I thought it would be very strong, but I actually really enjoy how it evolves in your palate.
Yes. Yes, it's completely different. It's great for
But definitely an
making craft
acquired taste. Like
100%.
you either love it or you
or
hate it.
Yes, and I know when I first started drinking ryes, moving over from bourbons, it was not easy. Like I had to go through and try a bunch of different ones.
I feel like it's like the transition from when you drink regular tequila and then you drink mezcal.
That's a perfect
Right?
example right there.
Right?
Yes, different flavor. You get that smokiness from the mezcal.
Mhm.
Totally different flavor. The rye, yes, it's very different. I mean, you're going to, again, the mash bill rye, super heavy, so you're getting more of that cinnamon, more of that allspice. A little more of a kick to it, so to speak. Like it's more on the peppery side sometimes than a bourbon is, where the bourbons are going to be sitting more on like the fruits and chocolates and different flavors like that. Completely different.
But I think because I love spiced rum, it was an easier transition for me than somebody that doesn't like
That makes
spiced
sense.
spirits.
That definitely makes sense.
But this is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
This is a true sipping, but it has a really nice. It's very smooth.
Yeah.
There's barely any hug.
Mm-hmm. I know. Well,
Barely.
But don't forget, we still have that ice cube floating in
Oh,
there
that
a
is
little
true.
bit.
That is true.
So when we get to this one, we got to ditch the ice cube.
Yeah.
I think you're really going to like this one.
Yeah.
This is next level. It's one of the highest rated ryes out there.
Holy
right now.
crap.
It's amazing. Amazing.
So when I started this rum journey, it was really interesting because when they first started doing research and they would call it a Caribbean rum,
Mhm.
most of the casks used to come from Trinidad and Tobago.
Hmm.
I thought.
Okay.
Now I ended up finding out that most of them are like white oak, American.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. Or ex-bourbon casks.
I see a
Speaking
lot
of
of
the
that.
Foursquare, I just got Empery, which is another of their exceptional cask release one.
Okay.
I'm so excited to try that one. I'll have to bring you some once I open that
Yes.
up. I'm obsessed now with Foursquare, by the way.
The bottle that you brought me, I'm down to about that much.
No way!
And so now I'm at that point with the bottle where I'm like, all right, we saved like that last little bit for like a special occasion.
Yeah.
It will sit in my bar, no lie. It's going to sit in there for about a year and a half
Yeah.
before I finally just go, it's time.
It's time to kill it.
I
So
can't.
tell me, I know you talk a lot about how it evolves from the beginning to like when it's down to that.
Mhm.
How has it changed? Has it gotten sweeter? Has it gotten like
It's gotten a little bit sweeter as it goes, as it's been sitting there a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you open it up, it gets the oxygen in there a little bit
Yeah.
more so too,
Mhm.
because there's obviously more space that's in there. So it's a little bit sweeter. The finish is a little bit longer on it too, which is
Longer?
kind of nice. A little bit.
That's
A
amazing.
little bit, yeah. The oxygen really helps to open it up a little bit.
Wow.
So, but it's been delicious. I've paired it a couple of times with some really good cigars.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I treated myself one night. I was like, tonight's going to be a Foursquare night. And I went over and I picked up a vintage Partagas.
I haven't seen any pictures posted.
That's my alone time out on the patio. No cell phone.
You're like, that's my me time.
It's it. Music, a nice Partagas, and the Foursquare rum. And I sit out there.
So what kind of music do you listen to
For that
on
one,
those moments?
on those moments, it's usually a little country music.
Okay.
A little country music. It's kind of my thing. Find it, it's soothing because in the car I rock out to heavy metal.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting on the patio and a cigar, throw on like some Kenny Chesney, maybe a little Buffett.
Okay.
Every now and then I'll throw in some Bob Marley. It's a little cliche, but kind of goes with the mood.
Yeah.
Just chill, fun
Chilly.
music. That's it. So,
Can I see the label?
of course.
Thank you.
I actually, quite honestly, I went through and I was looking through my collection. I was like, all right, I got to find this stuff because I know that I have bottles where it's aged in rum casks.
Yeah.
And I found that one. I was like, oh, I forgot I had it.
But I love that this is a Solera method, which
Yeah.
is typically rum.
Yeah.
It's not.
I only know, I think of, off of the top of my head, 3 different bourbons that are using that method right now. And the other one.
And it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
When you look at what it actually entails,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, when I bought my first bottle that they use the Solera method on, I took a look to see what that meant, and my mind was blown, like what actually goes into it
Yeah.
and the transfer and everything, which is just amazing because the complexities that it takes, like it's almost like you don't want that first or second or third bottle. You want the 20th or third bottle
I know, right?
as it's coming through, or batches rather, I should say, to bring on the complexities from the youngest bourbons to the oldest bourbons, or rye in this case, together. It's just, the flavors are just amazing.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And this one, their brand, their bourbon is a Solera process as well, and it's phenomenal. And that one they call the Ego, and it is aged in a sherry and cognac. They basically do a triple. So it comes from the American white oak,
That's crazy.
and then it goes into a sherry, and then it goes into a cognac to finish off. And the bourbon
I
is
literally-
spectacular.
I literally just tried my first rum in the cognac barrel,
Mhm.
and I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
I'm
you a cognac-
obsessed.
Are you a cognac drinker to begin with?
I'm
or-
not, which is crazy.
Okay.
But I can appreciate the complexities that come from aging it in a cognac.
Yeah,
And the thing is, the other thing with cognac that I absolutely love, and I'm not a rum snob at all, but I know when it comes to cognacs and the way they make it, it's very controlled.
Yes.
Very, very controlled. So I can only imagine the quality that's going behind the cognac that was aged in that, and now you're throwing anything in there has
Right.
to be already even more spectacular.
Absolutely. And I love cognac. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Fell in love with it years ago as just something, after dinner, there's just something about a good snifter of a quality cognac. It is just absolutely amazing. So, and I think my first intro to it, I was spoiled, unfortunately, because it's been a very expensive habit since. But the Remy Martin Xo, which
Okay.
is just, that's the extra old is what the Xo stands for. And it's fantastic. It is just, it's smooth, it's sweet, it's perfect for after like a big steak
Yeah.
dinner. So like when we go out for like a nice steak dinner, I always start off, we sit at the bar, I have a bourbon, sit down at the table, have another bourbon, nice bottle of red wine, phenomenal steak, and then I order a glass of cognac. To finish off. And it's quite the experience. It's fun.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course, absolutely. I'm going to cleanse the palate a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we've got the Angel's Envy coming up, and that one I think you're going to love. It is one of my favorite bourbons. And that one, the bourbon-wise, I don't know. In the bourbon community, it's a little hit or miss. Some people are like, because it's not, they finish like...
It's a rye, but it's not a
Well,
rye.
this one's the rye. The bourbon itself, because they finish it in a port cask, some people they like the finishing like that. And some people are kind of anti.
Yeah, because porter tends to be sweet. So if they don't like sweet, then they're not going to like it.
Exactly. And they want to stay true to the bourbon process, which these guys, to me, they do. I mean, I think they knock it out of the park.
They're just doing like their spin on it, basically.
A little bit. All of them, it's a finished bourbon. It's a finished rye. Their cask strength is amazing. I think their entire line is just amazing.
That's cool. Oh, by the way, make sure you follow us on Instagram because when we do stuff together, we definitely post it.
Yes.
So you can see us on our hunting.
You can check all of that out.
On our actual hunting adventures.
Yes. All right. So, the Angel's Envy finished rye. I really think you're going to like this one. I think you're going to be blown away just from the nose on it.
You killed the bottle?
With you.
Oh my God. What an honor.
That's why I brought it.
That's so nice.
Yes. The infamous bottle kill. It's all right. She was good to me. Okay.
She was worth it. Okay, let's see the nose. That literally smells like a rum.
It's got like a caramel to it, like there's a sweetness to it, but yeah.
Little toffee.
Mm-hmm.
That literally smells like a rum.
Yeah. To me, it smells like dessert in a cup.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's just...
Holy crap.
I told you. It's amazing.
I'm going to say creme brulee.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it.
Creme brulee. This is creme brulee in a liquor.
Yeah. Yes. This bottle gets me in trouble sometimes because I just start and you can't find it everywhere.
Yeah.
And I just start pouring and pouring and pouring. Like, it's good.
This
it is just good.
Superb.
Yeah. It is.
But wait a
different from any
second.
rye that you've ever had.
Yeah. I am so curious of what Caribbean rum cask they're using.
I bet you can. You know what? I wonder if it's in here.
There's no way. It says flavors of bourbon, cognac, and rum.
No.
Because it's so sweet.
Yeah.
See, now I understand why people from the bourbon community might not like this because I feel like this is too sweet
This is right. This one is totally well. The bourbon itself, some people kind of shy away from. The rye gets a huge following.
Yeah.
But again, like, it's like the perfect after dinner drink to me. Like when I'm ready for something.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. Wow. Creme brulee. I've never had anything like this.
Yeah. I thought you were going to like that one.
I love this. This is dangerous.
Absolutely love it. So I said their entire line is it's one of my favorites.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm tempted to throw a little bit of ice on this.
Do not. I am good. I enjoy this one neat, but I'm also a firm believer, which, again, in the bourbon community, you'll have people with a lot of opinions who say, you never.
Yeah, rum,
and to me,
rum, same thing.
It's, you drink it how you want it. If you want it with ice, if you want it on the rocks.
I just love the cooling sensation of like neat spirits with a little bit of.
No, absolutely, and I agree with that one.
Wow.
How was it with the ice?
It definitely brought down the sweetness. So now I know why you said not to put ice in it.
No. But again, you have to try it every single way. You have to. Yeah.
Oh my God. So you know what I was doing the other night? I have this. So Austria has this very famous chocolate and I can't remember the name now, but I found a bottle of the liquor of this famous chocolate, and it was pumpkin spice flavor.
Okay.
And I have this overproof rum, very young, 4-year, but single cask.
Okay.
So you get the little pop rocks on the
Yep.
back. So I'm like, oh my God, I wonder how this tastes. This pumpkin spice cream liqueur and this rum. Amazing.
That sounds really good.
It was amazing.
Okay. I like that.
I was a little hungover because it was during the week and I had to get up early to work. I was like, I regret this, but it was so good.
Now, there are some of those creamed liqueurs.
Yeah.
Buffalo Trace makes one of the big bourbon distilleries.
Mm-hmm.
So they do the Bourbon Cream. And when I have my days where I wake up super early because I'm going to throw like a big pork shoulder on the smoker,
Yeah.
and that's like a cook that starts at about 4 o'clock in the morning or so,
Yeah.
brew a pot of coffee, and I do coffee and the Bourbon Cream as I'm getting everything going and getting the pork butt
That sounds
ready.
genius.
Yes, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's a long day of smoking the pork shoulder and a long day of drinking as well because they go hand in hand. That's the only way I know how to do it.
Absolutely. I agree.
But it's great because I start off with the Bourbon Cream and coffee, and then when the sun finally comes up, and I've already had a few, I go ahead and I transition over to it's a cream soda, a 100 proof bourbon, and then the Bourbon Cream.
Okay.
So cream soda pairs very well with bourbon.
Yeah.
And then
With like a high proof.
you
like
want a
that
higher
one.
proof
Yeah.
just to cut the sweetness on it a
Yeah.
little bit. So like for me, I use a diet cream soda just because the regular one is super sweet. So the higher proof bourbon, I actually use Evan Williams Bottled and Bond, which is a 100 proof bourbon when I do it.
Yeah.
And it cuts the sweetness a little bit, but it's a good, easy walk outside.
Yeah.
You know,
Drink all day.
drink all day,
Yeah.
check the temp on the smoker, make sure that we're still sitting at like a solid 250.
Do you smoke your pork shoulder in?
As far as rub goes,
Yeah.
it
Rub
depends on the
or
mood.
what do you actually smoke it in? Do you have
Oh,
a
my
grill
actual- my
that's
actual
also a grill?
Oh no,
You
I have it's a smoker. I have a Kamado Joe, so it looks just like the green egg, which is like the big popular one.
Yeah.
Half the price. Highly recommend it because it's the exact same quality.
Okay.
But it's great, and that's what I use for my smoker. I also use it for a grill, just like a true charcoal grill, but it uses I use the large lump wood charcoal as opposed to like the charcoal briquettes.
Yeah.
So it's like actual pieces of wood that have been burnt down a little bit. And then I throw in, depending on what I'm cooking, apple wood, cherry wood, pecan wood, different, if I want like something
That was
super
going to be my
smoky.
next question. If you used any like flavored
Oh, yeah.
woods.
Absolutely. Sometimes I'll do a hickory if I want like a super smoky flavor. It just
Yeah.
depends on what I'm cooking. But most of the time, I stick with either a pecan, cherry, or apple, or a combination of the three. I also have that I ordered. They are from a bourbon barrel. So it is chunks of wood from the bourbon barrel. And I'll throw that in there too.
That
a
sounds
little bit of
amazing.
everything, yes.
That sounds
So when I
amazing.
do my pork shoulders, I'll use the bourbon barrel chunks and the applewood chunks. Thoroughly enjoy. But I'm glad that we got to kill the bottle together.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too, definitely.
I only bust that out and do that with good people, good friends.
Aw, you're so sweet. Thank you.
Of
I'm so
course.
glad we're back. This is definitely going to be a segment that we're going to do as often as we can. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you have any bourbons or rums or crazy mashup destroyer situations like this one that we could try, I'd love to hear you down below. Follow Scott Bourbon Review on Instagram. Obviously, he's going to be back here, and check us out on Instagram. We do our hunts together when we can. I was making fun of the situation because we live kind of far right now. So I was going to say, I'm going to bring a cutout head of his face with me on our hunts just so I can bring him,
Make sure that we're
Both-
together when we go out there hunting
both in
every time.
spirit and as a cutout version
Exactly.
of himself. But yeah, if you have any liquor stores you can recommend for us to check out, I'd really appreciate it. We try to share stuff here. Obviously, the best type of spirits are the ones enjoyed with friends. So I really appreciate you bringing these bottles.
Absolutely.
Super impressed.
Good.
I
I'm glad you
absolutely
enjoyed.
love this. This, you know what? It's a great mashup. Not something we're gonna run crazy to go.
No, but
Get it?
if you're curious,
But if
Grab
you're
a bottle.
curious, if you have a friend that you're trying to seduce to the rum side or another friend that you're trying to seduce to the bourbon side, it's a good,
There you go.
get
It's
some nice
It's a
cigars.
great way to bridge that gap a little bit.
Yeah, it's like a mashup of your friendship. Bourbon and rum right here, I guess.
Okay.
But make sure you stay tuned. We're going to go get some cigars of this and retry this for comparison's sake. See if it opens up something else up. But thank you so much. I'm excited. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Scott will definitely be back. Follow him
100%.
on Bourbon Review.
Yes, come on over.
On
Instagram.
IG. And thank you so much.
Thank you. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers, everybody. Happy New Year.
I think I need a refill.
You do.